Hi, welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca and I've got just a really playful, fun card to show you how to make today. It's going to be perfect for anyone on your list, young or old, boy or girl. Anyone's going to love to get this and I'm excited to show you. There is a blog post that goes along with this video and there's a link in the description of this video. You just click it and it'll go right over to the blog post, and there you will find a bunch of photos. You'll get all the measurements so you can make this at home. I want you to make these at home, so I give you all the measurements, a full list of supplies, and you can purchase the supplies right from there if you want your cards to look just like mine, and I'm happy to help with that. So let's get a close-up of this card and get started. So here's our card, which looks super cute with this little bird poking out, but check this out. When you open it, it just reveals just a surprise inside, and I just love doing that in my cards. I love for when people open them, they're even like more wow when then they pulled it out of the envelope. So we're actually keeping this card pretty simple. These are all the card stocks you need. Then you need a white for your banner. I'm going to show you how to color that, and then a black to cut out this rim and circle. And I've got a tip for how to do that. We are going to be using the bird's eye view stamp set, which is just precious. I love it, but you can use any stamp set inside of here that you want to have peeking through this little window. Now you can see the stamp set doesn't come with any words, so I am going to pair it with the Timeless Arrangements, which has just so many things to pick from. I'm not going to use the foliage, although you could. I'm going to only use the leaves to decorate the front of this card. Now we are going to use the tailor-made, these are not the tailor-made tags. These are the stylish shapes. I'm going to be using the circles and the banner, but you could do it square if you wanted to. So just play around with whatever design. Now, if you don't have just a basic die set that has circles, squares, banners, I highly recommend this one. It's going to work for so many cards. It's going to last you a long time. It's got this beautiful stitched edging. Let me see if I can bring this up to the camera. Can you see that stitching on there? It just adds that little extra detail with no extra time required. You know, look at those little dots. I just love that. Now for the ink, we're just going to use black ink, and then we are going to color. We are going to be using Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to use this palette, which is Pecan Pie, Granny Apple, Lemon Lolly, I'm Lost Lagoon. I'm quizzing myself because these are kind of new colors. Lost Lagoon and Calypso Coral. And I really love these together paired with the just crumb cake, which is just a soft background. I think it makes these colors really pop out. Now, you don't need all these colors. You can do, you know, just a couple if you want. Now, these come in a pack of 2. When you buy them, they come with the light and the dark so that you can blend them together to create just real depth to your coloring. Now, if you don't like coloring, you're going to love these markers because they just blend really well. They color really quickly. If you love coloring, you're really going to love these because you can get pretty artistic with them. So to start our card, we're going to do the die cutting first. And you want your third smallest circle. This is about 1 3/4. Take your card base and we're going to fold it in half like this. And you're going to position your circle wherever you want it to peek out. I mean, it could be anywhere on here. I just chose to do it up in this top right hand corner because it's going to give me the most space for what I want to put on my inside image. Now when we run this through the cut and emboss machine, we're going to flatten this out all the way. It'll cut all the way through to the back if we keep it folded. You do need the large cut and emboss machine for this project because this this card won't fit in a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, so we're just going to position it up here. I don't know if you can see, there's my fold line. And then just put the plate on top and run it through. Now we need to make one more pass through the machine. We need to make a banner to put our greeting on. And then to do the rim on here, I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to grab the next largest circle that if you want a thin rim. If you want a thicker rim, go ahead and grab a bigger one. But I'm going to use the next largest circle. And what you do is you nest them together like this. You just put them together on your paper and then run it through like that. And it's going to make a circle. Well, of course, duh, it makes a circle, but it makes a circle with the circle cut out. Hello. And then we're going to use this also to decorate the front of our card. Okay, so now you want to grab your card base and you want to grab your white layer that's going to go inside. Don't glue it in. We're just going to place it here and close this. And what we want to do is figure out where are we going to put our little head poking out. And I just took a pencil and just made a dot right in the center. My stamp's going to cover that up, or you can erase it once you have it stamped. But this is going to make it so much easier so we have perfect placement, because you don't want to go through all the work of stamping and coloring and get it back in here and your image is off. All right, so now you're going to grab whichever little bird you want out of that set. And then I put the beak right on here. For the smaller bird, you want to adjust, where you want it. I'm speaking like a robot. Where you want it. Okay, so now we're going to press that down. And then this has all these cute little glasses. So I got to do that. And we're going to put this on like this. Now our birdie needs something to be standing on. I'm going to use this branch, but I'm also going to show you how to use these books afterwards. So with long stamps like this, I like to bring my ink pad to the stamp. It just seems easier because I end up getting ink on my block, and that's very annoying. So now when you put your branch, you don't want him floating up off the ground. You want him to be anchored on that branch. I'm gonna have to pull this down so I can see. And I'm looking through my clear photopolymer stamp to make sure my feet of my bird are on here. And then I also want my branch extending past this side of my paper. And if it doesn't, that's okay. We can kind of fudge it around with the markers. Let's see if I did it. Yeah, see? So he's standing on there. In my example, he's like hovering, which I guess is fine, but I really prefer him to be anchored on there. So in the example I just showed, you can see these stack of books, which is so adorable. I mean, look how cute that is. He's peeking through and you don't know he's standing on all these books to peek through the window. I think that's so cute. But let me show you how to do this. This will kind of baffle you if you're a new stamper, as it did me. So like, let's pretend our little bird is there. And then we're gonna go and stamp our books. We're gonna have him standing on the books. There we go. And then you go to stamp your next one and overlay them, and they're gonna look like this, which is just wrong because you can see the stamp overlapping. So let me show you just a quick tip on how to stack these stamps up. So what you're gonna do is you grab yourself a Post-it note and note where it is sticky, and you're going to stamp your stamp over the sticky part, and then cut it out with scissors. And to save time, I already cut mine out with scissors. And so it's sticky on the back where the Post-it note is. So then when you want it to overlap, whatever image you want to stay on your paper in full, you want to cover. And then when you go to put the other stack of books on there, you can see that it is covering up the part that we don't want on our paper is on the Post-it note, so that when you peel it off, it stacks perfectly. I don't know if that was very clear. Let me do that again. So if this is where I don't want this image to be marred at all, so I'm going to cover that up with my mask, and then I can stamp over it. It will all that ugly overlapping will be on my Post-it note instead of on my stamp. So when I pull it off, there it goes. Okay, I didn't line it up quite right right there. That book is getting squished, but hopefully you get the point. Here, let me do it again. Nope, I made the same mistake again. There, I had to pull it out in front of my face. There, see? So now you've got a perfect stack of books. Now we've got a little more stamping to do, but one thing I want you to note about the Stampin' Blends markers, you want to use your Memento black ink and you want it to sit there for a while. You want it to be very, very dry on your paper, or else it'll smudge the lines. So that's why I stamped this first, and it's been sitting here a while. Now this, we're gonna do the Stampin' Blends and we're gonna stamp on top of it. So we also wanna give that time to dry. So even though we have more stamping to do, let's color this banner. So we're just going to keep this so simple. You're just going to take your banner, take the brush tip, and just go at a diagonal or don't go on a diagonal. You really can't mess this up. Pick a bunch of colors, pick a couple colors. It doesn't really matter. We're just giving this that pop of color for the front of our card that is going to just make it look so interesting. Now, one thing about these Stampin' blends, you can see I'm closing them. They're alcohol markers, so they will dry out pretty quickly, so you want to hear that click. Okay, so now we're going to have this set aside so it gets nice and dry. So while I have my ink out, I love to do my envelope right then. So because if I put my inks away, I probably won't get them back out. And this is all it takes, just a simple little something. So when they pull it out of the mailbox, it is homemade. Now you're going to take your card base, and it comes with this stamp set has these really cool leaves. And so we are going to stamp those around the circle like that. And then we're going to have them falling down towards where we're going to put our greeting. Let me show you. Now, since we have this open, we might as well stamp on the back and make the back look really cool too. So we're going to just have these leaves falling this way. Just kind of turn them every which way as you're having them fall down the back of the card. Doesn't that look so much better than a plain backing? Now we're still letting our stuff dry just so we have the most success. Grab your silicone mat and we're going to glue our circle on. I found it best to not have this folded up because if you overlap the glue, it's going to get on the inside and everything's going to get sticky and you're going to get frustrated because I get frustrated when that happens. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and then have it open on my silicone craft sheet. So when glue comes out, like there's some there, it'll get on my craft sheet. And I put too much glue. I can see it coming out. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Come back! Come back! There we go. Okay, what's kind of cool, this is kind of an added benefit. The stitching on these dies just kind of helps that sink right into where it needs to be. I love that. Okay, now, we don't want to throw away this circle. We want to use it. So you can see on our example, I just put it under here just to make that banner pop out a little bit. So we want it extending past the card. So, and I found that because it's extending past the card, I do not want to put glue on here because it's going to get everywhere. So I'm going to put glue right here and then put the circle on top. Now I can see that I didn't stamp enough to be able to see those leaves. I might go back and put some on there, but okay, so we'll just let this sit and then what we're going to do is add this banner and then we'll take care of the excess later. All right, let's do some coloring. I want to just make a note. Stampin' Blends markers, they do bleed through, so you do not want to color on your envelope unless you're going to have it show through the other side. So just leave this black and white. I think it looks so pretty. But let's grab this. And what we're going to do is use 2 tones of the marker. I'm going to use the Pecan Pie to do the branch. And different people do it differently. I like to color in the light first, go back through the dark to add highlights, and then blend them back in with the light again. So now that I've got that all colored in the light, I'm just going to add some darker accent parts here. And then go back through with your light and it'll just get rid of those harsh lines. And I'm kind of purposely not going over this part again because I like there to be kind of like 3 shades going on. Let's give them a little beak. They do have the bullet tip if you don't like the brush tip. Well, you can't see that very well either. And that makes it easy to do those detail pieces like that. Now, if you're unsure about where to shade, just go over what the artist who made the stamp, where they put shading. So I'm just going to put dark right on top of these squiggle lines just to really accent them a little bit. And there it goes. So now I'm just going to choose a couple of greetings. I'm going to put one on the outside and one on the inside. And boy, there's so many to pick from, which I just love. I think we're going to do thank you. You are the best. Where is it? It's hard to read backwards and upside down. Yeah, baby, I did it. Okay, so now here's a tip. So if you want your, just a tip for lining up your greetings, line it up on your grid paper And then take your block and line that up on a line of your grid paper, and then press it down. And that will make sure your stamp block and your stamp are lined up instead of just slapping your stamp on there. And then you can test it and see if you got it right. And whoa, I am on target. I should buy a lotto ticket because I got that perfectly straight this time. Okay, so this is going to go on our outside greeting. So we're going to stamp that right here. And I've got black ink on me. Oh no! Thankfully, we're cutting that part out. I better go wash my hands. Doesn't that greeting look so awesome on this multicolored background? I didn't know if it would, and then I just did it. I'm like, oh wow, it looks awesome. Okay, now we'll take our little greeting, and I just want to put it on top of this tree branch, kind of going in line with the tree branch. Even if it's slanted, I think it adds so much character. Okay, this is it. It's time to glue it together and we're done. I just want to show you, see how the Stampin' Blends bleed through. That's normal, but you just want to be aware that you don't do it on something that you don't want to see the back of it. Okay, now for our greeting, what we're going to do, we're going to end up cutting this part off. So what I'm going to do is, instead of putting glue all over here, because I don't want glue on my scissors, I'm going to put glue in the center of this circle. You know, if the edge is right here, I don't want it squirting off the edge. And then, since my greeting is going to be here, I'm just going to put a little glue on this side there. And that will stick this down without getting glue everywhere. Now, just grab your paper snips, turn your card over, and just trim off this excess. And then you know it's going to be perfectly butted up against the side of your card here without even having to worry about lining it up right. All right, I have so many examples to show you. So here's our little set, the front, the inside, and the envelope there. And these are all using that bird's eye view, which makes just the cutest. You can do them with glasses. You can do them without glasses. Look, they're all stacked up on top. Now, I did not need to use a mask for this. I just made sure that my bird's legs were right on top of the head when I did that one. And here is this one. I put out new videos every Thursday, so I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel and hit the bells for notifications for when that next video comes out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sunny day.